This is 2016's Better Watch Out. Warning, spoilers ahead. We open up to the Christmas season, and kids build snowmen while other kids beat it with a baseball bat. Snow angels are being made, and snowballs are being thrown. Eventually, we see Ashley as she drives down the road, and she's calling her mother to tell her that she has to babysit that night. When a cat creeps across the road, she comes to a halt, but eventually, she tells her mother that she has to go. That night, Garrett is over at Luke's house, and he's playing video games while Luke reads about how to seduce a woman. He learns that he should try to make the woman scared in order to turn her on. But Garrett thinks that that's the worst idea. Garrett tells him that he'll never be able to land Ashley, but Luke thinks that she likes him already. Suddenly, Luke's mother pops up to remind Luke of his bedtime, and she heads downstairs to degrade Luke's dad about his choice in ornaments. Hey, don't hate on people's choice in Christmas ornaments. Christmas definitely isn't my favorite holiday, but the idea of customizing your tree with your own personal collections is exciting. I definitely have horror ornaments that I hang on mine. See? Personalization. Suddenly, Ashley arrives, and she tells the parents that she'll be leaving for Pittsburgh in a few days. Of course, everyone is sad to see her go, but they make sure to tell her how much she means to them. Apparently, Luke has been sleepwalking, so his mother shows Ashley a trick she's been doing with a pencil on his door to check if he's been walking, and the parents head out for their date. Once they're alone, Luke thinks that Ashley will want to hang out with him immediately, but she sends him off so she can call her boyfriend, Ricky. She tells him that she needs the night away from him, but eventually, she tells him that if Luke falls asleep early, she'll think about it. Luke isn't happy about the way she talks about him like he's some little kid though. So what does Luke do? He decides to try and be rebellious the only way he knows how. He pops open a bottle of champagne and starts chugging it. Ashley's response here is definitely appropriate. What does he expect? If she didn't view him as a child before, she definitely does now. After Ashley gets the bottle from Luke, she goes to the kitchen where she finds the door open. After she locks it, she goes to dump the bottle of alcohol, but when Ricky calls and makes things worse, she decides to have a drink. Luke catches her, and they decide to drink together. Later, Ashley sits on the couch with Luke to watch a horror movie, and he asks her why she picks terrible guys to date. Ashley messes up here though when she says that she'd date him if he was her age. Don't tell your creeper child that when you know he's crushing on you. Luke just screams that he has young Patrick Bateman vibes. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, and she finds that the pizza man is there. She never ordered any pizza though. When she comes back in to eat with Luke, she finds that he's lit candles, and he holds her thigh as they watch the horror movie. While they eat, Ricky keeps calling her, and she eventually goes to take the call. The call goes better than Luke had hoped, and when she comes back, Luke seems to give her the cold shoulder. When she gets scared by the movie, she accidentally grabs Luke's hand, and he ends up leaping onto her to kiss her. Ashley immediately tells him how inappropriate this is, but Luke doesn't understand why she just won't submit. Just then the phone rings, and someone tells Ashley that he sees her in the house. When she looks around, she starts to get a little freaked out, but when she notices the back door is wide open again, she bolts to lock it. She tells Luke to grab her phone, but he tosses it into the aquarium by accident. Yeah, Luke definitely did that on purpose. Finally, they hear knocking at the door and they go to check it out. Luke tries to scare away whoever it is by yelling that he knows Taekwondo, but it turns out to be Garrett who tackles Luke inside the house. Ashley asks him why he was messing around in the backyard, but Garrett assures her that he never went back there. Suddenly, they hear glass break upstairs, and Ashley heads up with a knife. Luke and Garrett follow closely behind her, and they find a brick has been thrown through the bedroom window. When Ashley goes to use the phone, she finds that the line isn't working. And when they check the laptop, they find that their Wi-Fi has been removed. Downstairs, lights flood the window from the front yard, and Garrett tries to make a run for it out the back door. This movie gets really serious really quickly. Garrett gets shot with what sounds like a silenced pistol, and all of a sudden, feels like Agent 47 is coming for Ashley. Ashley locks the door, and she tells Luke that they'll have to head upstairs to get his dad's gun. They hear the floorboards upstairs creak, but then they see a figure standing outside. Once they rush upstairs, they find that there's a man with a shotgun that's sweeping the entire area. They rush into the laundry room, and Ashley watches the man through a crack in the door. Quickly, Ashley and Luke head into the attic, and they quietly wait for the man to check the laundry room. After the man leaves, Ashley almost falls through the floor when a tarantula falls on her face. Do any of you have spare tarantulas crawling around your house? Spiders? Yeah, okay, that's normal. But I don't think I've ever seen a tarantula just wandering around my house. Luke catches her, and he tells her that they have to go for his dad's gun. Luke retrieves the gun, and he comes back to sneak Ashley into his room. They wind up making noise with one of the toys in the closet, and the man comes back to find what made the noise. When Ashley gets a closer look at the intruder, she realizes that it's just Garrett, and she bursts out of the closet. That would be the biggest shock to the system. And yet again, his attempt at proving he's a big bad man makes him look like the absolute biggest child. She literally ends her little talk with saying she's going to call his parents. Oh, snap. Luke slaps Ashley down the stairs. This is insane. When Ashley comes to, she's taped to a chair in the living room, and Luke has given Garrett some oxy to make him more agreeable. Ashley struggles to get free, but there's no point. Luke sits across from her, and he takes the lipstick from her purse to draw lips on the tape. Luke waves the gun around while he tells her that he really doesn't want to shoot her, but he makes sure she understands the rules for when he takes the tape off. Once he takes the tape off, he tells her that he wants to play Truth or Dare, and he shows that he has an insurance policy in a plastic bottle that she'll take if she loses. After they start, Luke asks Ashley how many people she slept with, and he's surprised to hear that she actually hasn't been with anyone. Leave it to Garrett to make it nasty. He dares Luke to touch Ashley's chest, and Luke gets a little stiff downstairs. To top it off, Ashley tells him that it felt like a little boy just groped her. Luke's never going to escape the image of being a little kid, especially after all this. When Ashley gets her turn, she causes division between Garrett and Luke by mentioning that he killed Garrett's hamster. After finding this out, Garrett decides that he doesn't want to be a part of this since things have gotten out of hand, but Luke convinces him to come back to finish things. When Luke turns back to Ashley, he puts his secret backup plan in a bottle of tequila, and he tries to convince her to drink. Ashley knocks the bottle out of his hand and it shatters. Suddenly, Ricky arrives at the house and he barges in to make up with Ashley. Luke talks Ricky into going upstairs, and he leaves Garrett with Ashley in the kitchen. Little did they know that Ashley managed to fall over and grab a shard of glass from the floor. Luke's really lost it. He hits Ricky with a metal bat, and then he stabs him in the cheek with a pencil. Eventually, he ends up knocking him out and ties him up downstairs with Ashley. Ricky's just having one of those nights. On top of that, it turns out that Luke is actually the one that texted Ricky to come over in the first place. Poor Garrett's really questioning things because he's been kept out of the loop. Next, Luke calls Ashley's ex, Jeremy, and he tells him to come over next. When Luke turns back to Ricky, he notices that he's urinating himself, and he rushes over to clean it up. When Luke takes the mess out to the trash, Ashley cuts her hand and foot free, and Ricky tells her to simply run once she gets loose. When Luke comes back, he catches Garrett smoking weed in the living room, and he loses it. Luke has the great idea to drag Ricky into the other room to try and make it look as though he's the one that was smoking in the house. But then he comes up with a new idea. He decides to test out the Home Alone theory, and he grabs a paint can and rope before heading upstairs. Don't try this at home, obviously, but I've always wondered about this too. Does the paint can move fast enough to kill someone, or did they do it right in the movie? Well, in this movie, Ricky doesn't survive the paint can. Myth busted. Ashley cuts herself free just in time to burst in with the gun and watch the paint can hit Ricky, but after seeing the tragedy unfold, Ashley seems to have lost all of her patience for Luke. Luke comes downstairs, and he tells Ashley that she can't shoot him since it was never loaded to begin with. Ashley makes a break for the back door, and she manages to make it outside before Luke makes Garrett chase after her. Ashley still manages to get over the fence, but Luke knocks her out with a brick before bringing her back to his house. Once there, he ties her up with Christmas lights, and he tries to tell her that she'll appreciate him for everything he's doing for her tonight. Yeah, there's absolutely no possible way that Luke could get out of this without going to jail. Garrett might have had a shot there in the beginning, but it's too late for him now. He seems to know it too. Garrett even asks Luke why things had to go the way things went, but Luke assures him that they'll still make it out of this without any repercussions. Luke leaves Garrett with Ashley, and he gets ready to deal with Jeremy, who just pulled up. Oh my god, look at Jeremy, it's like the Kyle memes all over again. Jeremy sits in his car while he hypes himself up to see Ashley, and eventually he tries to sneak around the back of the house. Luke is there to greet him, and he tells him to sit down with him for a moment. Meanwhile, Garrett opens up about how he just wants the night to be over, and Ashley grabs his finger as a gesture of understanding. Out back, Luke has Jeremy write his apology to Ashley on a piece of paper, and he ends up writing a lengthy apology. Back inside, Garrett takes the tape off of Ashley's mouth, and he can't believe that he's doing this. Ashley tries to explain that Garrett isn't the mastermind here, and she points out that Luke is a bad friend that manipulates him. She tries to convince him to run across the street to the neighbors. Meanwhile, Luke is out here stringing Jeremy up like one of the Sinister movies. He's got rope tied up to the mower and everything. That's one way to get rid of dumb exes. Again, don't try this at home. Back inside, Garrett is cutting Ashley free, and he assures her that none of what happened tonight is how it was supposed to go down. He gives her a kiss on the cheek, and Luke blasts him with a shotgun. Luke screams at him that he wasn't supposed to touch Ashley, and he finishes him off. When Luke turns his attention back to Ashley, Luke lays his head on her shoulder, and he tells her about how his lack of love from his mother caused him to be a restless sleeper. Ashley tells him that she knows exactly why she stopped loving him so much, and she completely shuts down. This drives Luke crazy, and he walks behind her while he takes a knife out of his back pocket. He then stabs her, and that's the end of Ashley. Luke might just be able to get away with this somehow now. Everybody's dead. That means no witnesses. He's just gotta stage this crazy lovers quarrel drama perfectly. Where did his parents go, though? I feel like it should be morning time by now, and he's over here doing a full-fledged crime scene cleanup while planting evidence. Somehow Luke is able to clean up everything and get his pajamas on before his parents almost get home. He ends up putting the pencil outside his door handle to make it look like he never left his room after falling asleep, and he sneaks into his bedroom window just as his parents get home. Suddenly, Luke's mother screams downstairs, and she rushes upstairs to find Luke pretending to sleep in bed. Soon, the police and emergency services show up, and Luke feels as though he's gotten away with everything. Suddenly, someone yells that they found a live one. When Luke runs to the window, he finds that Ashley actually put duct tape over her stab wound to stop the bleeding, and she flips him off as she gets wheeled into the ambulance. 1001 uses for duct tape. Why did Garrett have to die, though? Then, the credits roll. I figured this might be an appropriate pick to get in the mood for the holidays. There is a credit scene, though. Luke tells his mom that they should go to the hospital to take care of Ashley. He's not that smooth. Luke is finished. As for the movie, give it a shot. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.